Ladies and gentlemen, a woman who carries her pain in silence embodies a strength that often goes unnoticed, yet it is profound and transformative. Her silent endurance is not a sign of weakness, but an extraordinary display of resilience. This type of strength doesn't rely on outward expressions or dramatic gestures. Instead, it is rooted in her ability to face challenges internally, process them quietly, and continue moving forward without seeking recognition or sympathy. Her silence is not an absence of feeling, it is a deliberate choice, a shield, and a sanctuary where she gathers her courage and prepares herself to face life's trials. Carrying pain silently requires a level of emotional discipline that few can master. In a world where it is easier to vent frustrations or seek validation from others, choosing silence demands a strength of character that transcends the ordinary. This silence is not born out of a lack of options or support, but often arises from a deeper understanding of herself and the situation she is facing. She knows that speaking too soon or too often about her pain might dilute her focus or even make her vulnerable to judgment. Instead, she decides to hold her pain within, transforming it into a source of personal growth and fortitude. Her silence is not passive, it is active and intentional. It is a space where she can reflect on her experiences, seek clarity, and find inner peace. This quiet strength allows her to endure without becoming consumed by bitterness or anger. It is through this silence that she learns to navigate her emotions, identify what truly matters, and distinguish between what she can control and what she must release. This inner work strengthens her foundation, making her more resilient and capable of facing future challenges with grace and composure. Silence for her is also a way of protecting others. Many women who carry their pain silently do so because they value the well-being of those around them. They choose to shield others from their struggles, not out of fear, but out of love and consideration. They understand the ripple effect of pain and seek to minimize its impact on their families, friends, or colleagues. This selflessness is a testament to their inner strength, as it requires them to bear the weight of their burdens without leaning on others for relief. While this may seem isolating, it is often a reflection of their profound sense of responsibility and care for the people they hold dear. This silent endurance also reflects her ability to focus on solutions rather than problems. Instead of dwelling on her pain or seeking sympathy, she channels her energy into finding ways to overcome her struggles. Her silence allows her to think critically, evaluate her options, and develop a plan of action. This problem-solving mindset is a hallmark of strength, as it demonstrates her determination to rise above her circumstances and take control of her life. She does not allow her pain to define her. Instead, she uses it as fuel to propel her forward. It is important to recognize that her silence does not mean she is without emotion or that she does not need support. On the contrary, the woman who carries her pain silently feels deeply and often wrestles with emotions that are difficult to articulate. However, her strength lies in her ability to manage these feelings without letting them overwhelm her. She finds solace in her ability to endure and takes pride in her capacity to withstand adversity. Her strength is not about being unaffected by pain, but about rising above it with dignity and grace. This silent strength also inspires others, even if they are unaware of her struggles. People are drawn to her calm demeanor, her ability to remain composed under pressure, and her unwavering determination. Her presence becomes a source of stability for those around her, and her actions speak louder than words ever could. Through her silent endurance, she shows others that strength is not about the absence of hardship, but about the courage to face it head-on without losing oneself in the process. Ultimately, the strength in her silence is transformative. It allows her to grow, to heal, and to emerge stronger than before. It teaches her patience, resilience, and self-reliance. While her journey may be solitary, it is also deeply empowering. She learns to trust herself, to value her inner strength, and to appreciate the depth of her character. This silent endurance is not just a testament to her strength, but a reflection of her wisdom and grace. It is a reminder that true strength often speaks the loudest when no words are spoken at all. The woman who carries her pain in silence walks through life with a strength that many cannot comprehend. Her battles are often invisible to the world, yet their impact is evident in the way she moves forward with grace, determination, and quiet resilience. These hidden battles may not be shared openly, but they shape her into a person of profound depth and wisdom. Pain, when endured in silence, has a transformative quality. It chisels away at weakness and reveals an unshakable core of strength. Every silent struggle leaves its mark, not as a scar of defeat, but as a testament to survival. It teaches her lessons that words alone cannot convey. Through her silence, she learns patience as she navigates the complexities of her emotions. She learns understanding as she processes the challenges she faces. And she learns courage as she chooses to face each day despite the weight of her pain. These lessons are not loud or dramatic. They unfold slowly, quietly, molding her into someone whose very presence speaks of resilience. The impact of her silent battles often extends beyond herself. People around her may not know the full story of her pain, but they sense the strength she exudes. It's in the way she offers kindness to others even when she feels broken inside. It's in the way she continues to give, to care, and to support, even when she has little left for herself. Her ability to rise above her circumstances inspires those who witness her journey. They see someone who, despite facing immense challenges, chooses to stand tall, to keep moving forward, and to find meaning in the midst of her struggles. This silent endurance is not about suppressing emotions or denying the reality of her pain. It is a deliberate choice to process her struggles in a way that allows her to grow. She knows that sharing her pain is important, but she also recognizes the value of reflection. In her silence, she finds the space to heal, to understand herself more deeply, and to prepare for the next steps in her journey. Her silence becomes a sanctuary, a place where she can gather her thoughts, mend her heart, and strengthen her resolve. The pain she carries silently also gives her a unique perspective on life. It teaches her empathy, allowing her to connect with others on a deeper level. She understands what it means to struggle, to feel alone, and to face challenges that seem insurmountable. This understanding makes her a source of comfort and wisdom for others who are facing their own battles. Her silent strength becomes a light for those who feel lost, showing them that it is possible to endure, to grow, and to thrive even in the midst of pain. What is remarkable about this kind of strength is that it is not loud or attention-seeking. It does not demand recognition or praise. It simply exists, quietly influencing those around her. Her actions speak louder than words, and her ability to endure without complaint inspires others to find their own inner strength. People may not always see the depth of her pain, but they feel the impact of her resilience. At the same time, it is important to acknowledge that carrying pain in silence should not mean carrying it alone. The woman who endures silently must also recognize the importance of seeking support when needed. Her strength is not diminished when she chooses to share her struggles with others. On the contrary, it grows. By allowing others to see her vulnerability, she creates space for deeper connections and allows others to be part of her healing process. Her willingness to open up when the time is right becomes another testament to her courage. The impact of her silent battles is not confined to her own life. It ripples out, touching the lives of those around her in ways she may never fully realize. Her strength inspires others to face their own challenges with courage. Her empathy provides comfort to those in need. And her resilience reminds everyone that pain, no matter how heavy, can be endured and overcome. The woman who carries her pain in silence is a reminder of the power of inner strength. Her hidden battles shape her into a person of extraordinary character, someone who inspires hope and resilience in others. Her journey is not easy, but it is meaningful, and its impact is profound. While her pain may be carried in silence, its lessons echo loudly, leaving an indelible mark on the world around her. Silence is often perceived as the absence of sound, but in reality it holds a power far deeper than what is immediately visible. When a woman carries her pain in silence, that silence becomes a space for reflection, a sacred moment where she can make sense of the emotions that overwhelm her. It is in these quiet moments that she finds the strength to process her grief, her frustration, her confusion, and ultimately her growth. Silence gives her the room to confront her own thoughts, to wrestle with them, and most importantly, to turn her pain into wisdom. We often mistake silence for weakness, but in truth, it can be one of the most powerful forms of self-care. The woman who chooses to carry her pain in silence doesn't do so because she is afraid to speak up, but rather because she understands the value of taking time to process and reflect. In silence, she is not simply withholding her emotions, she is giving herself the space to understand them deeply, to sift through the complexities, and to emerge with clarity and insight. This process is not quick or easy, but it is transformative. In silence, the mind has an opportunity to find peace amidst the chaos. It is in the quiet moments that we often have our most profound revelations. The woman who carries her pain in silence is no stranger to inner battles. Every day she faces struggles that others may never see, and it is in her solitude that she learns how to conquer them. When she remains silent, she isn't retreating into a shell. She is taking ownership of her emotions, giving herself the time to reflect, and building the emotional strength that will ultimately carry her forward. This space of reflection is essential for healing. When we are consumed by the noise of the world, we often lose touch with what we truly feel. But when a woman chooses silence, she gives herself permission to listen to the still voice within. It is during these moments of quiet reflection that she may discover not only the depth of her pain, but also the wisdom that resides in it. Pain, when approached with intention, has the potential to teach us invaluable lessons. It teaches resilience, it teaches patience, and it teaches us to recognize our own strength in the face of adversity. The woman who sits in silence with her pain is not merely enduring, she is transforming her wounds into wisdom that will guide her moving forward. Reflection in silence also allows for a more authentic understanding of oneself. It's easy to be swayed by external voices, by the opinions of others, and by the pressure to conform to societal expectations. But in the stillness, a woman has the chance to reconnect with her core values, her passions, and her dreams. Pain can cloud judgment and make us question our worth, but silence allows us to sift through the noise and rediscover our truth. This clarity helps her make decisions that align with her true self, enabling her to build a future rooted in authenticity, not in the judgment of others. Furthermore, silence is a form of emotional intelligence. It teaches control, awareness, and discernment. The woman who carries her pain in silence knows that every emotion doesn't need to be expressed immediately. She has learned that sometimes the most powerful response is to hold space for herself, to let the storm of emotions settle before acting on them. This self-discipline not only prevents hasty decisions, but also allows her to engage with the world in a more balanced and thoughtful way. Her silence doesn't come from fear or avoidance, it comes from a place of wisdom where she understands that emotional mastery is crucial to her well-being. While silence is powerful, it also holds the potential to spark growth. It is in those quiet moments that she can begin to rebuild herself. She has the chance to reflect on what has caused her pain, but also to understand why it occurred and what she can learn from it. With time, she finds ways to turn her experiences into sources of strength. Her reflections may lead to forgiveness, to new perspectives, and to a deeper understanding of herself and the world around her. It is in this process of growth that silence becomes a transformative force, turning sorrow into strength and pain into purpose. Ultimately, silence gives the woman who carries pain the opportunity to shape her future. It may take time for her to fully heal, but every moment of reflection adds to her wisdom. It teaches her the value of patience, the importance of self-care, and the necessity of giving herself permission to grow. In silence, she finds not only healing, but a deeper connection to herself, an unwavering sense of inner strength, and the power to rise above whatever challenges life may bring. Silence, when embraced and used intentionally, becomes a tool of empowerment, one that helps her not just survive her pain, but transcend it. Resilience is a quality that is often forged in the fires of adversity, and it is in the face of pain that a woman's true strength begins to take shape. The journey through hardship, while never easy, can build an unshakable determination and an unyielding perseverance that not only helps one survive, but also thrive despite the challenges. For a woman who carries her pain in silence, this resilience is developed quietly behind closed doors and often without recognition from the outside world. Yet it is precisely in these moments of struggle that she learns the profound power of her own will and determination. When we look at a woman who endures in silence, we see someone who has experienced the depth of life's challenges, emotional, physical, or mental. She may have faced rejection, loss, betrayal, or personal failure, and yet, despite it all, she continues. Her resilience is not born out of an absence of pain, but because she has learned how to navigate it. In these silent moments, she faces her fears, doubts, and insecurities, and she learns to live with them without allowing them to define her. It is in these moments of solitude and reflection that the seeds of resilience are planted, and they grow into a strong, unshakable foundation. What often goes unnoticed is that resilience doesn't come from an ability to simply endure pain. It arises from the capacity to find meaning in that pain. A woman who carries her pain in silence is not simply pushing through each day. She is processing, learning, and evolving. She understands that every challenge presents an opportunity for growth, even though it may not be apparent at the time. Her silence is a space for reflection where she can analyze her experiences, understand her emotions, and draw from them the lessons that will propel her forward. This internal processing is what transforms her pain into strength, her wounds into wisdom. This quiet strength is also a reminder that resilience is not always about physical endurance, but emotional fortitude. While the world may see a woman who appears to be calm and composed, beneath the surface she is fighting battles no one else can see. Her emotions are a powerful force, but she learns how to channel them constructively rather than letting them overwhelm her. She learns how to carry her pain without letting it crush her spirit. Each experience she faces adds to her emotional resilience, teaching her how to maintain balance even in the most difficult times. This emotional resilience gives her the capacity to overcome the inevitable obstacles of life without allowing them to break her. The path to resilience is not linear, and it is often fraught with setbacks. But it is through these setbacks that a woman builds her strength. Each time she stumbles, each time she faces disappointment, she has an opportunity to rise again, stronger than before. Her ability to bounce back even after the most painful experiences is what sets her apart. It is the refusal to stay down when life knocks her down that shapes her character. She has learned that resilience is not about avoiding failure, but about moving forward despite it. This perseverance becomes a habit, a mindset that propels her towards success, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. In addition to emotional and mental resilience, the woman who carries her pain in silence develops a deeper understanding of her own worth. She learns to recognize her inner strength, even when others may overlook it. This self-awareness is crucial as it allows her to remain grounded in her values and in her purpose. She knows that her pain does not define her, but it is a part of her story, a story of overcoming and growing stronger with each chapter. Her resilience allows her to rise above the negativity and the challenges, and it empowers her to continue pursuing her dreams and goals with unwavering conviction. However, resilience is not solely about enduring pain in isolation. It is also about the ability to connect with others, to be vulnerable, and to lean on support when needed. The woman who carries her pain in silence has often learned the value of independence and self-sufficiency, but she also knows that resilience is not about doing everything alone. It is about recognizing when to ask for help, when to share your burden with others, and when to allow yourself the grace to heal. True resilience comes not from refusing to seek support, but from understanding that strength can be found in both independence and interdependence. In the end, resilience is about transformation. The pain that a woman carries in silence, when processed and understood, becomes the catalyst for her growth. It teaches her the power of patience, the importance of self-compassion, and the beauty of perseverance. Her resilience is not just a shield to protect her from life's challenges, but a beacon that lights her way forward. Through her silent endurance, she not only survives, but becomes a living testament to the power of the human spirit. And while her pain may be carried quietly, her strength shines brightly for all to see. Healing is a process, and it is a journey that often requires deep reflection and expression. While silence is a powerful tool for endurance, true healing begins when that silence is broken, when the pain that has been carried in silence is finally shared. It is not a sign of weakness to open up, to express your struggles, or to allow others to help carry the load. In fact, sharing your pain is one of the most powerful acts of self-care, and it opens the door to healing that can be both transformative and restorative. When a woman carries her pain in silence, she may believe that speaking about it will only make it more real or more difficult to bear. She might fear judgment, rejection, or simply the vulnerability of sharing something so deeply personal. But there is a profound truth in the idea that pain shared is pain halved. By opening up, by trusting others with her experience, she allows space for compassion, understanding, and support, elements of healing that cannot be accessed in isolation. In many ways, silence serves as a protective shield. It is a form of self-preservation, a way to avoid the world's judgment or to keep up the appearance of strength when she feels she cannot show weakness. However, over time, that silence can build walls that prevent not only others from reaching her, but also herself from fully processing her emotions. Carrying pain in isolation can create a kind of emotional imprisonment where healing feels impossible and the weight of unspoken struggles becomes a heavy burden to bear. But when a woman steps into the space of sharing, whether with a trusted friend, a therapist, or a community of support, she begins to break down those walls. The act of speaking her truth is a declaration of self-worth. It says, "I deserve to heal. I am worthy of support, and my voice matters." In that moment of expression, she reclaims her power. The silence that once held her captive becomes a catalyst for change, and what was once a painful wound begins its transformation into wisdom. Healing is not just about emotional release, it is about validation. When a woman expresses her pain, she is often met with empathy, understanding, and sometimes even shared experiences. The act of sharing can remind her that she is not alone, that others too have faced similar struggles and have emerged stronger. This validation can make all the difference. It can turn a moment of isolation into a moment of connection, a moment of sorrow into a moment of solidarity. It is through this exchange that deep healing occurs, for it is in the presence of others' understanding that she learns to forgive herself, to process her pain, and ultimately to let go. Additionally, sharing pain provides an opportunity for growth. As painful as it may be to reflect on the wounds of the past, the process of verbalizing them can bring clarity and understanding. It can help a woman see how far she has come, how resilient she has been, and how much strength she has already shown in surviving and thriving despite her struggles. The act of sharing pain is also an act of reclaiming ownership over her story. No longer does she allow the pain to define her in silence. Now she chooses to define it, to make sense of it, and to transform it into something meaningful. Healing is not instantaneous. It is not something that can be achieved in a single conversation or moment of vulnerability. It is a process that requires patience, trust, and time. But the act of sharing, of stepping out of silence and into connection, is the first step in that journey. It is a step toward wholeness, toward healing, and toward a future where pain no longer holds the same power it once did. When a woman carries her pain in silence, it is because she is navigating her own path in her own way. But when she chooses to share that pain, she steps into a space where healing begins, where her story transforms from one of suffering to one of strength, from silence to sound, and from isolation to connection. Let us all remember that healing is not a solitary journey. It is a journey that requires us to lean on one another, to be vulnerable, and to seek the support we need to grow and move forward. And for those of us who stand in support of those carrying silent pain, let us offer compassion, understanding, and a listening ear, for in that simple act we help unlock the door to healing.